Check it out. Thursdays, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Noon Eastern. A healthy dose of Jersey Girl wisdom. Live with revjerseygirl. Sponsored by New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Greetings, beloved. I'm so glad to be with you here today for so many reasons. Michelle Wadleigh here, Rev Jersey Girl, and this is Jersey Girl Wisdom. And today is a very special day, June 17th, 2021. And there are numerous reasons, but I got to tell you a little bit of personal business. My daughter-in-law seems to finally be ready to have that third baby. We had some false labor the other night, but we think today is it. So right now she is laboring and we are excited, and I'll be taking care of my grandchildren and running around and just kind of handling things. But it's the gift is life showing itself again, and we come, we go. It's all natural, but it is very exciting. So everybody know for me that my daughter-in-law, I like to call her actually, that her labor happens with ease and grace. Okay, that's one reason. The other reason why I'm happy to be here, and for those of you who might be watching me from CSL North Jersey, or in the New Jersey Morris County area, this Friday night is our Gay Pride celebration, which I'm always excited to bring to you, most specifically because our community has always had that diversity. Good morning, Ty. And Ty Stevens will be singing tomorrow night with the beloved Brannis McKenzie, and they'll be bringing some amazing live music supported with Richard Cummings, and I look forward to Friday night. Oh my God, it's going to be beautiful. So if you're in the area, first, do me a favor, share the news, share the announcement, and as always, share the link to this show. And if you're in the New York area, the New York, New Jersey area, and the Morris County area, come and join us tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. It's happening at the Center for Spiritual Living, Morristown. So we, Center for Spiritual North Jersey, are renting from them once a month for the time being. So please come. Yes, good morning, Kathy Nash. Glad to have you on the show. Okay. Why else am I excited? I'm excited because of my guest today, and we have been colleagues for many years. And she is going to be bringing to you today information about a major project whose timing couldn't be better, because as maybe you know, maybe you don't know, that they have decided, the powers that be have voted in, and Juneteenth is now going to be a national holiday. Hallelujah. This speaks to all the individuals who have been doing the work, all the people of color who have been doing the work, all the allies that have been doing the work, and we're going to come together. And my guest is Reverend Celeste Frazier, and she's going to talk to you about her program and what she's been doing in the world. So please welcome Reverend Celeste Frazier. Ah,
Hey,
there she is. Hello, beloved.
hey, Reverend Michelle. It's so good to be with you today.
Yeah, it's been, oh my God, with COVID and conferences being canceled and so many, busy schedules, we rarely run into each other. So it's nice to see you again. It's been a
Yes,
minute.
yes.
So tell us what you've been up to, and tell us what's happening this weekend. And then we're going to make everybody aware of the link if they want to register and be part of it. But give us the lowdown of what's going on.
Well, what's going down this weekend is honoring freedom. Actually, it starts Friday night, June 18th, and that happens at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Uh, let's see, that's 8 Mountain and 9 yeah, I'm
Six. It would
backwards
be
with it.
6 Eastern.
Six Eastern. Sorry, my
Oh, it's
my
okay.
my time is all jumbled. Anyway, 7 p.m. Friday night, and then we resume back 11 a.m. Central Time on Saturday, Juneteenth itself. I've
Hmm.
been working on this for several months with Tracy Brown, who is my co-chair, and we have a wonderful lineup of great speakers and fabulous musicians. We've got artists, we've got all kinds of audience engagement, we've got spiritual practices, and even a little bit of genealogy is going to be happening there too. So it's a whole mix of everything that helps us to truly know what freedom is.
Beautiful. I'm very excited. And
Yes.
as I said to you before the show, I have had Tracy on the show, and I've had David Alexander on the show, and we have had numerous shows dedicated to this idea of freedom and coming at it from different points of view. So, with this, I want to make sure, if you will, there might be someone watching that doesn't know what you're talking about, that doesn't know what Juneteenth is. Could you give us a little bit of history and education for the person who might not be aware of what we're talking about?
Sure. President Lincoln actually established emancipation in 1862, and it was gradually going around the country. And they say that the news didn't get to Texas until June 19th, 1865. We actually have evidence to the contrary, but so
Oh,
be it. We're knowing that as of that date, any enslaved African was no longer to be threatened with the idea of being enslaved any longer, or their lives being threatened by any kind of institution that at that particular time that was called slavery. It's definitely had other iterations up and through today, but
yes.
yeah, that particular institution ended officially, except for one little minor thing that I found out the other day. There was one state that was actually holding out until just 8 years ago,
Tell me
but
about that. Tell us about that.
Mississippi. Mississippi never ratified until 2013. And yeah, so
Wow.
I recently found out that I was actually born to a slave.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
So
wow, that's
yeah,
sobering.
that's a spoiler alert because I was gonna save it for Friday night when I give my talk. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So what does that do? What does that do inside of you? Tell me about that. Tell me how that
Well,
lands in you.
it lands in me okay because I was born in Chicago, which means I was I was born in a free state, but my mother was born in Mississippi.
Wow.
And she sat there, kind of chewing on her nails a little bit, and I was like, okay. As I'm, we kind of joked about it because we had some relatives who were actually visiting from out of town, and a lot of the stories that we thought were true, we found out there's other parts to it.
Wow. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. So that's really mind-blowing.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
really is. It reminds me um it reminds me back when I used to be embarrassed to tell people I was partially German.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
I had real trouble owning that heritage, although it was barely visible in my life the way, being born here. But I still had trouble owning it, knowing the implications. And then
Mhm.
someone told me one time something I didn't know, and they said that Hitler was Austrian, not German.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, and somehow that little twist changed it just a bit. But it just speaks to how we carry the lineage, the ancestral baggage, the trauma, even even with that, in our
Well,
bones and who we are.
well, for the Anglo part of you, you've still terrorized the rest of the world. So, I mean, not
Uh,
to make not to make you feel bad, but I mean, it's so much
yeah,
about what has happened that hasn't been healed. But, and in particular, in my family, I thought my great grandfather was killed for another reason. But I
mm,
recently found out that he was actually killed because we were related, everybody's related to everybody, but they didn't want people to know that the black part of the family, and they were white and they owned a whole bunch of stuff. They didn't want people to know that they were related to black people, and they didn't want my grandfather to propagate any more children. So they were going to stop the black line. And so that's why he was killed.
living with that.
Killed by his white cousins.
Family.
Yeah, I mean, not that they wanted it to be family, but it was what it was. I
It
mean,
was what it
all
was.
of these people, in the 18th century were together, and whether it was willing, consensual sex or not, we've been, basically making babies for centuries.
Right, right. And I want to go back to your half joke, not quite a joke, but your joke that since waking up and being, I have a good friend and that we are going to do some more um, anti-racism work together, and the statement she used a little while ago in our conversation is that she became radicalized during George Floyd, and I have to say very much the same thing for me, except that prior to George, I had a lot of sensitivity anyway, and it's specifically because my community is filled with such beautiful diversity. So how could I not care, right? And how could I not show up? But I want to say to you, the part of me, and this is after even 3 years after being part of the diversity commission of CSL, the real waking up has only come from the pain of ownership of the history and ownership of what family was part of, or just even if it wasn't my direct line, but the tendrils. The pain of that has been at times excruciating, and of course, I never talked to a person of color about it because I know it's my mind to bear. I'm clear, and so that waking up has been quite painful.
Well, I just want to, to support you in feeling better about yourself, because the whole white supremacy structure was geared for you not to know. It
Oh
was it
yes,
was constructed for you not to know that you were complicit in it, right? And it's amazing to us who've been carrying this history for all of our lives that it took 9.5 minutes of watching a man be murdered for you to wake up. Because I've been jumping up and down and carrying signs and doing vigils and everything for most of my life, for the better part of 50
yeah.
years. And it's, I don't care how it happens. I just want it to happen. And we've still got so much more work to do.
We do. We do. And I'm telling you that I am an active, devoted ally, and I commit to keep doing the work, most specifically with my community. And you mentioned before about having you back. I'm very happy to continue to have you on the show so we can follow progress and look at history and look at what's possible. Um,
Yes.
in September of this coming year, we're going to do another major program, and this time we're going to use the book by Ruth King. It's called Mindful of Race, because Ruth King is a Buddhist, and the work that she does is very healing but very direct. She's African American Buddhist, I believe, yeah, and
Hmm.
she's just beautiful because she has that devotion to freedom
Hmm.
oozes out of her.
And probably a devotion to peace.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure that all of that is tied in. So,
Yes.
talk to me a little bit, if you will, about your journey, if you don't mind. Tell us a little bit about that. Just your personal journey. And you just said something pretty big. You said I've been carrying signs and holding vigils for the better part of 50 years. Like,
Oh, well, that part of my journey. Okay.
wow.
Wow. I remember the first moment I was called the N word, and I was
Mm,
7 or 8 years old, and there wasn't much I could do about it then, but certainly, as I became older, and when I went to college, I was head of one of the Black organizations at University of Southern California. I was doing efforts to promote. Um, the excellence of people of African descent, including having a number of, well-known African Americans come to the campus, and also working on our healing
mhm,
and solidarity. What we're knowing for any people is that with numbers and solidarity, a lot more can be accomplished than as an individual.
mhm,
And so I was an officer in two Black organizations at University of Southern California, Black Women's Caucus and ABSSC, which was Associated Black Students of Southern California. So, and from those days and moving forward, and a lot of the scripts that I wrote, I'm not an active screenwriter or playwright now, but a lot of the scripts I wrote has some kind of racism, um, healing or revealing, and both. and
mhm,
so and so every outlet, it would come through my poetry. And yes, I would show up for the vigils. I would show up for the protests, and like I said, that started in my late teens, and I continue to show up for the vigils. And I was with the faith leaders walking the streets of Chicago when I got back to Chicago last
mhm,
summer.
mhm,
So it's something that is compelling me, and
mhm,
I'll stand for peace and justice all day long. I'll stand for,
mhm,
I've prayed on the street corners about ending violence in Chicago. I've marched with women at Lake Michigan to stop the violence. And so whatever it is that will bring us truly into oneness, I know that prayer works, and I'm convinced that part of the work that we've been doing for this Juneteenth celebration is why it's becoming a holiday now. But I will continue to do whatever will free us all, because if one of us is not free, then none of us are free.
yep, yep. And I want to speak. Well, there's two things. Oh my God, there's so much. I don't have as much time as I want to today. But one of the things that and you said about prayer, and I want to speak to again for whoever might be listening, because there's a lot of confusion, and I'm a die-hard prayer practitioner, believer in the power of prayer, die hard. And I hear things all over the place. You hear the word drops very quickly. Oh, pray for this or pray for that, and then you have the other side that says, oh, we have to do more than pray. And I want to say pretty clearly, it has to be pray plus.
Yes.
It has, and I know you know that's what you've been. I'm saying this for every listener. It's got to be prayer and move your feet. Prayer and get on the streets. Prayer and write your letters. Prayer and hold people accountable. And whatever that means to you as an individual and those who are the allies watching, or if you're not yet committed to being an ally, I ask you to go and wonder why. Be in the wonderment and ask yourself, why not? Because what I know is that once this journey started for me, I could never go back. I could never, you can't unknow what you know. And with all the books I've read and all the whatever educational stuff I have witnessed and the conversations and the book studies that I've done in groups, you can't unknow what you know. So to those of us, to those white individuals watching, I just ask yourself, why not? And so I have a question. The other piece and this troubles me greatly. I have two grandchildren. That now they are half Cuban, and then of course my son that's a mix of Italian, Russian, English, Irish, German. He's a melting pot. Okay, they're going to come into school, and unless someone changes the history books, they're going to learn what's always been taught. I got to tell you, as a grandparent who cares deeply and who has influence, I'm confused about how to bring what needs to be brought out.
Well, there are different people that are working on that issue. So it's not going to be there for long. And particularly, I don't think you'll have to worry about the one who's coming into the world today. But I can't speak for the other age children in terms of where they are in their education. But I am being optimistic that probably within the next 5 years that there will be a complete I'll call it revolution of our educational system. I don't think that we can have the administration that we have now or the consciousness that's been awakened that will permit it to be otherwise. So have confidence.
Okay,
But don't be afraid to help participate in the process.
yeah, I feel like that's so much bigger than me, except for where it applies, because to know what I know, and I don't want to lead. I don't want to lie to them. When I was a mom before, and if you have grandchildren, if your children are listening, don't pay attention. But even to my three boys, I never told them there was a Santa. Like,
Okay.
I never wanted to lie to my kids. I told them Santa was the spirit of giving. That's what I told them. So they got to have it if they wanted it, and it's amazing how one of them did hold on a little bit longer. But I said Santa was the spirit of giving. So I have taken it upon myself to make sure that my grandchildren are exposed to my community, because where we live it's still so white.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they have their Cuban side, and I'm so grateful for that. But I've made sure that they've come into my community so they could engage with people of color and break down any fears or any worry about that. And for me,
Yeah.
that's part of my work. That's part of my work, is waking them up.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And
Go ahead.
your Cuban grandson should know that there were Afro-Cuban. There was at least one, maybe more Afro-Cubans who were part of the the what they call colored then men, who helped to actually win World War II. And so some people think that they were all African American, but we were colonized through what Columbus and his group did, in such a way that all of the Caribbean and in between was affected by this colonization. So they are they're tied to, and a lot of Africans have been part of South America and the West Indies and all of that. So
Mhm.
so there's a whole bigger area where they couldn't find their way, but they were still bringing enslaved
Mhm.
Africans to this side of the world.
Right, right. You
Yeah.
know what I didn't do today? I'm gonna hesitate for a second, and I want to make sure because I do this every week. For those of you listening now or later, this is thank you, Diego. He knew I wanted to ask for donations. I am a big lover and supporter of this ministry. This is not my ministry. I am just in service to this ministry, but this ministry is serving humanity by having these great conversations with people like Reverend Celeste and Reverend David Alexander and Tracy Brown and then other amazing people and other amazing shows. And so I ask you every week, dip in to your pockets, give money to this organization who's going to do everything it can to stay alive and to keep us informed. And that is newthoughtmedia.org /donate for those of you who might be listening and not watching. So thank you. I just wanted to take a moment to do that. So I would like you to go back to your Juneteenth
Yes.
celebration, Celeste, and talk
Yes.
to them about registrations and how they can participate and, you know, sell.
Well, we
Tell
are
us.
so excited about honoring freedom, and you can go right now to www.honoringfreedom.website and you can register. We have some fabulous
I don't think you
presenters.
meant website. Did you mean .com or .org?
Uh,
You said,
www.honoringfreedom.website.
oh, is that a thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
our thing.
All right. I didn't know that was a thing. Sorry about
Yeah,
that. Go
and
ahead.
we have some great presenters. We have uh, Ricky Byers, we have Venicia, Wills Lefroy, we have
She's an old Jersey girl. We came up together. We're good friends
yeah,
with Venicia.
Cynthia James, and we have just some great people. Andrea Earl, we've got Sharon Henderson in Reflection performing, Reverend Karen Frost performing. We're particularly excited about our elder panel, which is
Lovely.
made up of Africans, people of African descent, not only Americans, but even Reverend John Scott out of Jamaica,
I
one of
saw
our
that.
is part of that panel. Reverend Eloise Oliver out of Oakland, and many people know her from East Bay, 25 years at East Bay. We've got Reverend Sandra Jackson, who's out of Georgia. And we've got Reverends Irma Forward and Beverly Branham out of California, and they're being moderated by Ayodele, and it is a beautiful opportunity for us to hear their wisdom,
Mm,
that they've been in this movement, some of them, for several decades,
mm,
and
beautiful.
they can tell some of the history, and they can tell what the progress has been. We've heard some stories about how we were either ignored or separated, and so
Mm,
it's great for us to have this event, the first of its kind, where Black leaders in this particular religious science movement have come together to present a program to honor our history and our spiritual essence.
I'm
And
so
so
excited.
we have some great sponsors. We've got, our heavy duty sponsors like Agape, CSL Dallas, INTA, Ayodele, McClenny, CSL Prescott. We've got our great $500 level sponsors like CSL Crossroads, Reverend Sunshine Michelle, CSL Seattle, Spiritual Enlightenment and Truth, and One Heart Retreat Center. We've just got a lot more sponsors. We got about 20 sponsors, and we have actually exceeded our goal. I won't tell it all right now, but just know that everybody is going to be thrilled, because this is actually both a celebration of the principle of freedom and a fundraiser for an all new thought conference taking place next August 11th through 14th, 2022 at Unity Village in Kansas City, where people of African descent from all across New Thought are presenting a conference involving all of our organizations, and someone from every organization is being represented. Even Emerson is being represented. The Emerson Institute is being presented, as well as Agape Hillside,
Wow.
some of our Jamaican friends, and some of our UFBL, which was founded by Johnny Coleman. So it's an exciting event. We've been in the planning for that for like a year and 2 months, so I've been
You've been busy.
up to my eyes in creating events for the last year. So yeah, I'm excited about how everything is unfolding. So yeah.
I'm excited for you. And will they be able to, after this weekend, actually register for next year's conference?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
The official registration will be opening in February,
Okay.
but we will be starting to reveal more and more. I think the first time people are going to see the logo is at Honoring Freedom, and we've already got a Facebook page that is starting to kind of seep out a little bit of information. So
I'm so excited. I'm so impressed. I'm so inspired. This
good.
is truly, oh my God, this is wonderful. And this, I mean, I'm so, Diego, thank you for scrolling through all those beautiful people that have, in so many ways, not all of them, but in so many ways, and some more than others, been marginalized. I am so I actually feel tearful at the sense of celebration that this is it's past its time, and I'm glad it's your time. I'm glad it's your time, Celeste. You have to feel really good about this.
Well, it's not that it was given to me. It's because my soul required me to be one of the carriers of this flame. I've been seeking for a long time to heal it verbally, but it's nothing until you put your foot in it that anything is going to change.
Well, I'm incredibly excited. Incredibly excited.
Me too.
So if you're listening now or again later, as I always say, please consider registering for this weekend. And here's the thing, register even if you can't go. I can't go. I'm going to have my grandchildren and my new great, and we're going to rugby games. And unfortunately, this perfect storm happened for me this weekend, but I'm buying a ticket anyway. So
well,
buy
let me
a
tell you
ticket
about the
anyway.
Options. Let me tell you about the options.
Okay.
You can pay just $10 and be able to participate. You won't get the elder council, the elder panel. You won't get that because you'll have to pay $49 for that. But when you get the independence package, you get everything. Plus, with the independence package, you could start, if you registered now, you could start getting a sacred movement class tomorrow. The sacred movement classes are Monday through Friday for no extra charge. And that'll be going on through the end of Friday. Plus, you get 2 recordings of meditations by a 92-year-old practitioner, and she does it with a flautist, and so it's beautiful. And if you go to the next level for $149, wait a minute, at the 99 level you'll get the recording. So make sure, if you can't show up, get the $99 level so that you can get the recordings, which will be available for 90 days. But at the $149 level, you get all of that plus a sound, silence, and movement workshop with Reverend Queen Michelle Jordan, and a fabulous admission to Layla Dunbar Key's workshop about shifting in consciousness that has to do with racial healing and expansive wisdom and compassion. So there's group options. You can come. 5 people can come for $299 and save $200. 10 people can come at $4.99 and save $500. We've got a deal for everybody. So if you don't come, it's not our fault, because we have covered every possible base to make you happy beyond the event and for your days ahead.
Well, I personally commit to coming in at the minimum $99, and I'm going to look around, see if I can do more. I commit to doing that. And for those of you watching, participate. Not everything can be for free, folks. Not everything can be for free. It's time, it's energy, it's expertise, it's technology, it's the website, it's paying a webmaster. Everything that's good has costs associated. Let's just get over thinking that things should be free. Same thing as this radio station. The same thing here with Juneteenth. Put your money where your mouth is. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, because that's what I do. And if I can catch part of the program if my grandkids let me, there's a birthday party, rugby, we'll see what happens. If I can be there for part of it, I will. But if not, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, because that's who I want to be in the world. And I commend you and your work and every single individual. I love so many of those people that outside. I have bugs flying in front of me. I have so many people there that are participating that I love so dearly. I mean, you have some of my favorite people in the world that are participating.
Oh, great.
And some of you who are white allies, do the work, folks. Join us, do the work. Diego showed it before. We have a Facebook group called Healing the Divide that's happening at CSL North Jersey. If you want to be part of our future book study, please participate in that. That is all free. We will be providing training for that. We want to spread the word, and our goal, and Reverend Celeste, I'm going to chat with you about it. Our goal is to create a network of people having book studies throughout the country. That's actually the goal of what we're looking for. So I'm going to be talking to you directly about it.
Yeah, we're doing cast right now in the group that I'm facilitating. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's been eye-opening for everybody. It's not easy. It's difficult because there's a lot of sadness and hurt. But, you know, everything that we're doing this weekend is around healing. Everything that we're doing in next year's conference is around healing and empowering ourselves. Beautiful. And that, you know, white people can be healed and empowered by this too. We can't do this without everybody being healed. Okay?
No, we can do it together.
So, yes.
And now I'm speaking for the white folks, have to learn to not be threatened by the idea. We have to be willing to feel it. And be willing to stand for our spiritual brothers and sisters, because that's what we all are.
Yes.
Reverend Celeste, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for the invitation.
I'm so glad it worked out, because I know it was a little last minute, and with my life the way it is, and I realized, I said, this would be perfect. I'm off hopefully I'm going to pick up my granddaughter and hopefully have a new grandchild soon. And I love you. I appreciate you. I see you, and I am so happy. I'm so happy that this celebration that you're having this weekend launches the official Juneteenth. And yes, I trust that your consciousness and the consciousness of your group impacted it, you know, coming to life.
Yes.
So for those of you who are with me every week, I bless you. I love you. Please join me again next Thursday. I don't remember who's going to be with me right now. Be well, be happy, be brilliant. Talk to you soon.
Blessings and love.
Blessings.
faith, love, openness, willingness.